All right. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keene. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out. Instagram, Facebook, Best Damn Podcast, Twitter, The Real Best Damn, and wherever you're watching this from. Make sure to hit the like, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and share this link. That way, new people can find us. And if you like the channel, you like what we're doing, you'd like to donate and support to the channel, you can do so by going to PayPal, Cash App, Facebook Messenger, or joining us over on Patreon. All of the links will be in the description. We're still about $100 away from the monthly goal, so consider supporting if you like the shows, you like the guests, and all that good stuff. So tonight, we've got a mixed batch. I decided I wanted to switch it up. I know it's very late over here in Cincinnati, but I figured, fuck it, why not? Let's just go ahead and do a live. There's so much stuff going on right now, especially pertaining to um, India, Pakistan. This looks like it could really develop into something, serious. World War III is not something I think people should really take lightly, and I know that we get so much of this shit, like the fear porn when it comes to the media and them trying to control us through these narratives of fear, right? The doom and gloom and all of that good stuff. But you also have to keep in mind that this is a group of psychopaths that run our world, and if they're willing to create false flags and use crisis actors, and we've had world wars in the past, right? Consider, all the propaganda, the mind control, the manipulations of currencies, the poisoning of food, air, water, all of the above, right? Like, is it really out of the realm of possibility to think that, they would go for a thermonuclear war? Not really. Not in my book. And that would be a great way to really speed up the agenda of depopulation and calling the masses. So we're going to look at that as well. And you know what? A lot of times, I believe that they have these events, if you will, these crises. They have them in lieu of other things that are taking place, almost like a cover up for natural events. Even sometimes you're going to see that we've got a lot when it pertains to the Cascadian subduction zone that is going on right now. Many, many, many natural disasters happening all across the globe. And that's not even have to do with the political landscape. So when we really look at things, and if we think about prophetically, if anybody is, religious, I don't care what religious text or book you're looking at, they all depict kind of these end time wars, end time, catastrophes, all of it. And it's like we're at a very, very strange time right now. It's awesome, to kind of see people waking up, but I almost feel as if sometimes that what we're getting through social media, what we're getting through, TikTok and YouTube and Facebook, when your when your algorithms is programmed to regurgitate what you're into, it can almost give you a false paradigm, a false sense, a false reality, of what's going on. So it's like if you're into all of these kind of things and like you're really conscious and high vibe and what's going on, you're looking into the truth of things, well then your algorithms and your feeds are going to push that right back to you. So it's going to seem as if everybody is awakening. Everybody, right, is coming around to the truth. And it's like, well, just a few years ago, we got a an actual real time gauge on just how many people are coming around, right? And waking up. And over we had 90% of everybody in every country of the world that went along with the pandemic agenda, if you know what I'm saying. 90% of every country, of everyone in the world. So there's like a real number, some real shit, right? As opposed to what your algorithms and your feeds are giving to you. And that's a thing. Like we really can sometimes get lost in the sauce when it comes to like, yeah, we watch all this shit online, but it's like it's not a very good gauge of what's actually going on in the world. There's still so many people that buy into the two-party system. They believe Donald Trump's going to save them, right? They just can't understand or comprehend or wrap their heads around controlled opposition, right? They have cognitive dissonance, and and one of the most intoxicating things um, is that moral superiority, right? That moral superiority. I tell you what, that virtue signaling bullshit, that is it's intoxicating, incredibly intoxicating. People love to look down on others, right? For their behaviors, for their actions, for their past, for their flaws, for anything, and when you feel like you're aligned politically on the right side of things, right? And with the truth, like that's an intoxicating thing, right? And it blinds you to a lot of the other bullshit. So, people got to be extremely careful when it comes to the political shit, because you got to understand that these are two wings to the same bird, right? And I hate to tell you, no matter how good it looks, how good it sounds, it is absolutely 1000% controlled opposition, right? And if you allow yourself, you will be lulled right to sleep with all of this. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. Hopefully, we can get some people in here. If not, catch us on the flip side. But man, and I've even I won't lie, I've been considering recently just being done with the content. I've done it for so many years. Um, so many years. It's like how can you compete when people now, and this is just, to me, it's lazy as fuck, but you've got people now that literally use AI apps to tell them and I think it's a joke, actually. We see content creators do it, people making videos off of it where they're using AI apps, chat GPT and shit like that, which the idiocy involved in this is just beyond me. It's mind blowing. It's like these apps aren't actually telling you accurate information at all. They're reading what you want to hear, right? They're giving you once again, right? They're giving you back that echo chamber back to you, what you want to hear. And you can even program them. I have AI. You can even program them to talk with certain slangs, to call you brother or buddy or whatever, right? To use a slower voice, a lower voice, to be more casual, to use more slang, whatever. And we have people that are living and dying now by AI telling them what's really going on. Living and dying by this shit, you know? They're not only creating content and people are watching it and they're soaking it up. Um, they're sitting in chat rooms, waiting to ask their question to the AI as if they're going to get a real, genuine answer. And for one, it's absolutely lazy, right? Like these people are just allowing the AI apps, chat GPTs, to tell them, right, the information, for one. So they're not actually going and researching, reading, watching anything, right? Like actually absorbing any material, any information themselves, right? So it's like it's no different than you sitting down and watching your television, right? And just having your TV tell you what's going on, and then you thinking that you're educated by that. That's the same fucking premise. By asking ChatGPT something and then allowing it to tell you, it's the same premise as you watching your TV, flat out. And then not only that, which you can fact check all of it. It's nonsense. Like 99.9999% of what it spews out is nonsense. It's like it's fictitious, right? It's based on what you're searching and what type of answers you want, how you're phrasing the questions. It knows your personality, right? And it knows you want the conspiracy version of that. Um, but anyways, and not only that, is it, lazy, and it's detrimental because people aren't researching themselves, right? And absorbing the information firsthand, so they don't truly have any knowledge of anything. Um, you know, second off, it's like they're not going within themselves and finding anything at all. You know, they are like externalizing every last bit of their journey and the world. There's no growth there. There's no evolution there. They're not using their intuition. They're not using their critical thinking. They're not using any of this. And it's become trendy. So now they're getting, there's monetization involved, where people can make money off of, advertising and donations and all these things, right? By using the chat GPT, the AI, and they get these crazy answers, and it's like, there's this one content creator, Mspiracy, right? She cranks out the videos, and I mean, it's just all nonsense, is what it is. And you can literally watch her. She's reading from the script. She's reading from the script. It's an AI script, right? And this ain't me hating. This is just being honest, right? This is just being honest. And I'm not to try to call out anybody in particular. It's just one that I've seen that's starting to become really popular. Um, And I looked in the comments section, on the channel, and people literally had no idea that that's what was taking place, you know? They're believing that this person truly, like, knows all of these things, and that this is all coming from within her, and that, or she's researched all of this, and it's like it's absolutely fictitious. It's made up stories coming from an AI app, right? And the person is not even the person. They got a filter changing their appearance, and they're reading from a script, right? The entire time. So none of it is actually coming from them, and it's like this is the most deceptive, um, underhanded, manipulative way I've ever seen people try to present themselves to be truthers, right? It's like you should have to, and they're not labeling their videos. See, you have on almost every single app, when you're a content creator, you have to label your video if it's altered or not, right? If it's been created by AI, and they're not doing that, right? They're trying to present it as if they wrote it, as if it's their natural image, as if all of it. It's like none of that is true. And it's like this to me is one of the most dangerous things that is taking place right now that we really, really need to be aware of, right? Like, if you consider yourself a truther, if you consider yourself somebody, that if you just like to watch if you just want something for entertainment, then I see nothing wrong with it, right? But I feel like these people should label it, right? Like this is a story. This is fictitious. This is entertainment, that kind of thing. Then knock yourself out. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever, right? and make all the money in the world you want to out of it. But when you're trying to present it as genuine, true information, knowing that it's false, knowing that it's written by AI, knowing that it doesn't come from you, and you're presenting it as all of the above, then you're a fraud, right? You're a charlatan. You're doing some that's evil. That's what that is. That's evil, is what it is, and it's grimy and it's low down. And I feel sorry for the people that watch these channels. One of them, I don't know the guy's name, got long hair, wears sunglasses, tries to act all cool as he does it. And it's like I've seen a million of them, and they're getting paid, and it's like I feel sorry for all of the people that are watching these frauds, because they have no real knowledge. You know, that's what makes us unique as human beings, and you see that we're losing the human element through these kind of things. So um, I don't really know. Uh, I don't really know how to counter that, other than saying, like, you know, it's really important for us to. It's really important for us to be very discerning with who and what we're watching. I get attacked so much. People fucking hate me. They call me a fucking schizophrenic, a drug addict, a fucking all of these things, right? Which I don't mind. I don't mind what people call me. Actually, I don't care what nobody thinks about me. I don't give a fuck, right? I come on here and I say what I say, but at least everything that I'm saying, is coming from me, from within me. No matter what you think about me as a person or my character or anything, it's irrelevant, you know, compared to my knowledge, and it's all real knowledge and real research, and I feel like it's almost like a dying art, and it's like it's to the point where I'm considering tapping out. It's like you can't compete with this. You can't compete with artificial intelligence. Um, it's just and it's muddying up the water so much. It's really hard to tell sometimes. What's what. So. Um, Anyways, that'll be my rant for that. That'll age really well. I'm sure I'll get a lot of shit talked to me from that, but I don't give a fuck. I get so much shit talked to me on all these platforms. People despise me, but and that goes back to, what I was saying of the whole judging thing. That's what they despise, you know. They they see an opportunity to feel virtuous, right? When they see me. I see somebody that's had issues, somebody covered in tattoos, somebody that's been to prison, somebody that's been on drugs, somebody that's been, all these things, somebody that's, spews all these crazy conspiracies, somebody that don't give a fuck, right? And they see that as an opportunity to look down on somebody, you know. That's what they do. It makes them feel superior, But really they're threatened is the thing. They're threatened by people like you and me. They're threatened. They're threatened by the fact that we're unique. We're original. We're not like other people, and we don't give a fuck what others think about us, right? We're gonna believe what we believe. We're gonna say what we say. We're gonna do what we do. And if people don't like it, they can eat a dick, And that's and people talk about, the highest frequency is love. And it is, right? The highest frequency is love. But you want to know what the most powerful frequency is out of all of them? It's authenticity. It's authenticity. That is the most powerful frequency, is authenticity. It's being your genuine, fucking, authentic self. If you can't be your genuine, authentic self, then what is the point of even existing? You know? What is the point? Hold on, guys. Let me turn on this light. There we go. Get some light in this bitch. All right. Probably got nobody watching right now. It's fucking like 4 a.m. But here we go. Let's get into this. And if you guys can see me, oh, there's Bailey. Hey, Bailey. Nice to see you. Let's go ahead and start here. Hey, and I'll tell you what, I got this new camera. This is a side note. I'm probably going to talk a bunch of shit tonight. This is a side note. I got this new camera. It's like a 4K camera. And the last couple of videos I did, I seen some weird ass spheres, like orbs, shoot in the background throughout the video. So I don't know, if anybody is ever familiar with like spirits and shit, they usually come as orbs. It's pretty wild. Just on a side note, right? Just on a side note. All right, here we go. Let's shift phone production to India. Next day, India-Pakistan war has struck multiple sites with terrorist-related infrastructure. Pakistan Indian targets and has closed all airspace. Heavy fire reported at the LOC. Look at that, guys. You know what? This can fucking be serious. These guys both are nuclear, capable nations here. So they're armed. This is a big ass deal. For real. It really, really is. Africa iPhones will be lit. Oh, shit. Hold on. Sorry. It's a little fucked up, but whatever. Where's it at here? Yeah. Wait. Chair's loud. Sorry, guys. So there's a secret bunker that all the elites can go to if nuclear war starts. Oh shit, sorry. That was funny as fuck. African iPhones would be lit. Bush official claims U.S. built secret 21 trillion underground city for rich and powerful to live if near extinction event happens. A former housing official who worked under President George H.W. Bush has made an astonishing claim that the U.S. government spent years funneling money into the creation of a secret underground city. Oh, where the rich and powerful can shelter in the event of a near extinction event. My first thought, if they only let in the elite, they'll never survive. Who's going to actually do all the work that's needed down there? And they're totally incapable. Then this came to mind: AI, robots, who knows? It may already be there. And we're just the last ones to know, up to the first malfunction. And finally, do you really think they actually want this? All their power and status disappears when everyone in the bunker is rich and famous. Anyway, I see someone watched Paradise. So I actually agree with this. I actually agree with this. To me, with the whole nuclear war thing, it doesn't make a lot of sense as far as like, like what the fuck are they gonna do? In a nuclear war, they no longer have any serfs, any slaves, right? Like the ruling class is not the ruling class any longer. There's nobody to rule, you know? It's just them, you know? Then they gotta do all their own shit, you know? I feel like, they extort us, spiritually, physically, right? Like, in every way, shape, form, and facet. So I find it hard, um, to fathom that on a personal level, they want to, stop having 5 home like, a home in Florida, a home in California, a home in Texas, a home in fucking Russia, a home in Italy, like, I find that hard to believe, like, they wanna give all of that up, right? Their yachts and all of that. I find that really hard to believe. But at the same time, if you know the ideologies, behind it, um, I don't think it's I don't think it's too far out of the realm of possibility to know that they do absolutely, um have the intention of culling the planet. If you look at the Georgia Guidestones, just in particular, right, to keep the population to under 500 million, which is extremely, extremely, extremely smaller than what it is now, right? We're what 7, 8 billion people, so yeah, that means a lot of us got to go, and when if and when uh, something like that was to take place, then I think, you know, uh, maybe they don't have the say over, um, the catastrophes that take place. Maybe these catastrophes are as a result of magnetic pole reversal. Maybe these catastrophes are um, a result of the extraterrestrials deciding it's time to recycle again, like, there there is this part of me that believes that humans, the governments, the powers that be, even the elites, right? Like, they don't run shit at all down here. We have a firmament over top of our planet. We can't even leave here, you know? Uh, so Operation Fishbowl, we were literally trying to blow up the fucking firmament with nuclear bombs, you know? We were trying to blow it up with nuclear bombs. We were trying to get the fuck out of here, and in the last video I did, um, which I gotta follow up, excuse me, I gotta follow up to that video and the end of the simulation series. I was gonna do it yesterday, but I'll probably do it today sometime, maybe even after this one. But I had a letter from this. Supposedly, she was a nurse during the Roswell incident for the one surviving extraterrestrial. She called him Errol, or her Errol. Um, and they said that they were monitoring Earth, their property of the domain, which is what they called themselves, that Earth was property is of theirs, and that they were monitoring the Earth, and they came because of a disturbance of nuclear bombs, because we set off nuclear bombs. That's what brought them there that day. Um, when they crashed and all of that good stuff, according to this leaked letter or document that I read in the last video, which I will continue some of that letter and many other documents. We're going to look at the whole creation mythos with from the extraterrestrial point of view, all of that. So there is this non-human, it's almost alien agenda here on Earth that seems to be like anti-human, to say the least, right? Like, with the poisoning of the water, with the chemtrails and poisoning of the air, with this push for transhumanism and trying to make all of us cyborgs, like, there's something very anti-human about all of this. So it's like it's not hard to fathom that the governments, the politicians, the elites, right? The powers that be wouldn't have inside knowledge, maybe even be in communication with, these entities and know that there is some sort of catastrophe that is about to happen. That's just around the corner, right? And that's why, so they don't have a choice either, right? Like they're going to deal with it too, but they're going to, go underground in their bunkers and all of this. And see, and now you can see this too. Okay, now I see the plan. The US wants to rebuild and reopen the famous Alcatraz prison for the elites. And this makes sense as well, right? Like, what the fuck would you do? You know? The prison was closed in 1963, and Alcatraz Island is currently operated as a tourist site. I've been on a tour there before. I can't imagine the money you'd have to sink into this to get it right. It could indeed reach 21 trillion. I think if they reopened Alcatraz, they would likely run into the same issues concerning maintenance and supply and provisions, which led to the original closure. Also, the max population in Alcatraz was like 302, which would be on the smaller side for the most current U.S. prisons that hold about 1,000 plus inmates. And Trump says that he will reopen the notorious Alcatraz prison in San Francisco.
A stunning announcement by President Trump today. He wants to reopen Alcatraz for, quote, America's most ruthless and violent offenders. The federal prison known as The Rock housed some of the country's most notorious criminals until it closed back in 1963. ABC 7 News reporter Suzanne Fawn has reaction to the president's plan.
It's crazy. It's bizarre. It seems unhinged.
Critics sound off on the announcement President Donald Trump made Sunday on Truth Social. President Trump is directing the Bureau of Prisons, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and Homeland Security to rebuild and expand Alcatraz to house some of the most violent offenders. Sunday afternoon, he explained why.
It's a symbol of law and order.
But Alcatraz has not been a federal prison for decades. It's now a national park and a major tourist attraction.
Alcatraz was fun.
Sunday afternoon, we caught up with some visitors from Los Angeles who just toured Alcatraz. Omar Ledesma says he got a lot from the visit.
Just like the backstories about the prisoners. I even got a signature from the last inmate. It's right there.
These visitors are not convinced that reopening Alcatraz is the right thing to do.
The rock, the island is not suitable.
Yeah,
no,
not at all.
No, it's nice to visit. I would never trust somebody to be in prison there.
The Bureau of Prisons indicated on its website that Alcatraz was shut down in the 1960s because it was 3 times more expensive to operate than other prisons.
The idea that it would be turned back into a prison would be so expensive and just so dumb that it's hard to imagine it.
Critics also say that President Trump's motives are concerning.
So many of these radicalized judges, they want to have trials for every single, think of it, every single person that's in our country illegally, that came in illegally. That would mean millions of trials, and it's just so ridiculous.
My concern is that he may have it in his head that he wants to turn Alcatraz into some sort of domestic gulag to complement what he's doing in El Salvador, where he just sends people he wants to get rid of.
Some say Trump's latest announcement is a political stunt. Governor Newsom's spokesperson stating, quote, looks like it's distraction day again in Washington, D.C. In San Francisco, Suzanne Fawn, ABC 7 News.
Well, Newsom's a sack of shit anyway, so who cares what he says? Right? They'll be fighting the poltergeist the whole time. Al Capone's ghost will finally get some company. 3.4 million men, women, and children are currently dying in the Somalian famine. That's crazy. Somalia remains on the brink of a catastrophe reminiscent of the 2022 famine, which, according to UN data, killed thousands, nearly half of whom were children. I get really, really sketched out when it comes to, shit like this, especially when they talk about all the deaths of these children. When they come in, they send aid to these places. I was watching watching something basically on, this former CIA that was talking about how, CPS and all these other organizations, basically in the name of aid and for children, will come into, other countries, and it's because the children there don't have birth certificates, and they'll bring them here, right, to the U.S. And when they do, um, they're basically like put into, they're trafficked. They're like, you know, sexual stuff, ritual stuff, organ harvesting, and it's all because they don't have like birth certificates. So there's no trace of them legally, right? They're just gone when they're gone. Pretty wild.
This is where Somalia's drought has driven its people. Mogadishu's displacement camps weren't built to last, but for thousands, they are now home. The people here once had farms, livestock, and lives built over generations. Now they have tents, dust, and waiting.
Waxaa u soo degay dhibaato daruur ay keentay oo haysano male macnaha abaarahayna batay xoolaha waa naga la'deen xoolo waa lahaa jirna irigi waxaasaa lahaa jirna waa naga la'deen ma noogu baxan abaara macnaha naga dhammaa waysay moga waa iska rafaadsanne.
With her grandchildren depending on her, Nuna searches for food, for aid, for a way to survive. Her daughter, unable to hear, unable to speak, stays close, helping in the only ways she can. But survival here is uncertain.
Tan waa dhagool.
Man, and you know what? When you see shit like this too, it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Think about like the chemtrails and the way that they manipulate the weather, right? And they, all these atmospheric rivers and shit like that. And it's like, like you see other places like flooding and shit like this, and it's like, is this the tail end of that, like the flip side of that, creating droughts in these other places? It's just interesting to say, Somalia, Sudan, Congo, Gaza, Yemen, Syria. Which they may have spotted it. Scientists say they have spotted a huge hidden planet deep in our solar system. I find that to be very interesting too. Who to believe, flat earthers or Planet X? Now they're saying they have spotted a huge planet in our solar system. Dude, for years, I was down with the Nibiru shit. I really believed that there was something that was perturbing the planet and causing, a lot of these catastrophes and, the shift in the migration of the magnetic poles and all of that. And I'm not saying there isn't. When you look at the South Atlantic anomalies, I'll just show you just a few of these magnetic anomalies here while we're at it. Hold on. See the South Atlantic anomaly here. Look at that. It's just wild. The South Atlantic anomaly is a region over the South America at the southern Atlantic Ocean where Earth's magnetic field is weaker than normal. The weakening allows charged particles from the sun to penetrate closer to Earth's surface than they normally would. The South Atlantic anomaly is expanding westward and weakening in intensity, posing challenges for satellite missions and potentially affecting auroras. And it's described as a dent or a pothole in Earth's magnetic field. Right here. Here you go. Let you see that bitch. Fucking crazy. It's like a negatively charged, it's like negatively charged. You see these other ones right here. Like, look, and you'll see here, magnetic north is like splitting in two. And then you got like this kind of split at the south as well with this, South Atlantic anomaly kind of pushing and seeing right over here is the new magnetic north. It's going to be right here in Siberia. So, you know, something's going on with the magnetism here on Earth. That's all I'm going to say about that. Right. And as a result, we're seeing pretty fucking wild shit. Right. Matter of fact, we'll start. Where is it? We got so much shit to get into, guys. Hold on. All right. Prepare ahead of time because you never know when the next big one will hit. Just some before, during, and after photos of the 2011 Japan tsunami and cleanup. And keep in mind, if the Cascadian subduction zone slips off that Juan de Fuca plate, it will be Tsunami City on the West Coast, including in Japan. Take a look at these images. These are fucking crazy. Look at these images. Look at the destruction. I mean, this is fucking. Can you even imagine, man? Look at that. Boat sitting on top of someone's house. Look at that. That doesn't even look real, man. It don't even look real. It looks like something from a movie. Does it not? Looks like something from a movie. That is so crazy. That is wild. That is so wild. The aftermath of that. Mm-mm-mm. The aftermath of that is crazy. Meanwhile, on the Pacific Northwest coast, scientists have long warned of a looming threat: the massive earthquake from the Cascadia subduction zone, capable of triggering tsunamis and devastating shaking. Now, new research highlights another often overlooked danger: the sudden sinking of land itself by nearly 7 feet. We're going to look at both those. So, the next rupture of the Cascadia subduction zone will spell the worst natural disaster in the history of North America. And see, and this is what I'm talking about with like the whole World War shit. When you start to see all of these disasters or whatever, like kind of lining up, I feel like they would cover up these disasters with, nuclear war, start dropping bombs and shit like that. And to kind of like explain, think about it, like they say Russia has missiles and submarines that are capable of, sending tsunamis, right? So just an example. It says an earthquake will destroy a sizable portion of the coastal Northwest. The question isn't if, but when. And keep in mind, the next full margin rupture of the Cascadia subduction zone will spell the worst natural disaster in the history of the continent. And keep in mind, too, what was it? The last flood, like the early 1800s, I want to say, like 1810, somewhere in there. I could, don't quote me on that, but somewhere around there. And there's images after this flood. I'm talking 10 years after the flood, and you can see the water still receding in some areas of the world. Like, it's fucking wild. Let's see when that flood was. Let's check that out. 1 second, guys. Flood. $1812, maybe. 1812. Yeah. New Madrid, December 1811. These earthquakes, known as New Madrid earthquakes, caused widespread damage. Let's see. And see, you could see, I'm trying to think of some of the images of this. Yeah. Yeah, this might be it. But you could see in some of the places, like like Seattle, and places like that. I mean, fucking receding. It was wild, right? It was wild. And in the mid 1700s, I believe, was like the last, like big reset that we actually had here, um, in the world. So look at that. But anyways, that's basically what your ass is looking forward to, Where'd that go? Where the fuck did that go? All right. When 2011 earthquake and tsunami struck Tohoku, Japan, Chris Goldfinger was 200 miles away in the city of Kashiwa at an international meeting on seismology. As the shaking started, everyone in the room began to laugh. Earthquakes are common in Japan. That one was the third of the week, and the participants were, after all, at a seismology conference. Then everyone in the room checked the time. Seismologists know that how long an earthquake lasts is a decent proxy for its magnitude. The 1989 earthquake in Loma Prieta, California, which killed 63 people and caused $6 billion worth of damage, lasted about 15 seconds and had a magnitude of 6.9. A 30-second earthquake generally has a magnitude in the mid-sevens. A minute-long quake is in the high sevens, and a 2-minute quake has entered the eights, and a 3-minute quake is in the high eights. By 4 minutes, an earthquake has hit a magnitude of 9. When Goldfinger looked at his watch, it was 2:45. The conference was wrapping up for the day. He was thinking about sushi. The speaker at the lectern was wondering if he should carry on with his talk. The earthquake was not particularly strong. Then it ticked past the 60-second mark, making it longer than the others that week. The shaking intensified. The seats in the conference room were small plastic desks with wheels. Goldfinger, who is tall and solidly built, thought, "No way am I crouching under one of those for cover." At a minute and a half, everyone in the room got